In South Africa, we only have two types of marriages: a marriage in community of property and a marriage out of community of property. Now, marriage in community of property is a marriage without an antenuptial contract being signed. And it's called an antenuptial contract because it is a prenuptial contract. You cannot sign one after you got married. So, in the absence of an antenuptial contract, you are married in community of property, which means both the husband and the wife are joint administrators of the joint estate. With a marriage out of community of property, we again have two different types. The one is a normal, straightforward marriage out of community of property with no accrual. That's the one that is out of community of property as we all know it. What's yours is yours and what's mine is mine. Now, the accrual system was introduced in 1988. This basically says, and remember, it's still a marriage out of community of property. It's regulated in the antenuptial contract. This accrual system basically says that we are married out of community of property for the duration of our marriage. Upon dissolution, and all marriages dissolve by death or divorce, upon dissolution, we calculate the growth in the husband's estate and we calculate the growth in the wife's estate. If there was a difference in growth, that difference is split. In other words, if the husband was the only one working and his estate grew by R1 million and the wife was a stay-at-home mom for the duration of their marriage, she will obviously show no growth. There's then R1 million difference in growth. The husband will have to pay the wife R500,000 in terms of the accrual claim. Now, of course, this is oversimplified, but that is basically what accrual means. So what do you want to look for when you sign an antenuptial contract? First of all, to make the decision to sign an antenuptial contract is a very important one. As I've explained previously, if you don't have an antenuptial contract, you will have a situation where both husband and wife are joint administrators of this joint estate, which means that nobody can contract without the other one's consent. And this is sometimes very difficult in practice. So if you are married out of community of property, you can own property in either spouse's name. You can transact and contract without the other person's consent. So it's a very important mechanism or tool in protecting assets because the wife's assets cannot be attached for debt that the husband has incurred and vice versa. It's also a very popular estate planning tool, but I won't go into too much detail because that's a specialized field. But when you get married, it's extremely important to consider signing an antenuptial contract and getting advice in this regard.